Hey guys, what's going on? Lucky here. So this is another EOD video. It was a long day. It's been a long week. Got some stuff accomplished. As you can see, the OBS is going back together. Still quite a bit of wiring, stuff to do. I'm fitting the core support right now. I have to do a thing, install a thing called a heat exchanger that looks like a radiator basically, or a trans cooler. I like to kind of overdo the heat exchangers, so there's a little bit of room right in there. So I'm going to move the radiator back a little bit, still allow the shroud and everything to do its job, not too far. I'm also probably going to thin out this bracket right here so that I can bring the AC condenser further forward or further back, and then maybe get the heat exchanger in the middle. A couple different options there. So I'm tossing it around, see what works the best. It's a fine line between not hacking up the car and coming up with a way to make it work. There's a good amount of space right in there, but yeah, there's a reinforcement bars that are going inside there. Maybe I can lose those, move the radiator just a little bit. What's more important? A cold charge or air conditioning? Well, they're both cold charges. So yeah, we're gonna have to split the difference, I bet. Either way, that's what's going on with this thing. I've got the main harness already routed inside the car. I'm gonna fabricate a bracket to put the fuse box right there. Make it look factory, whip up some lines. But yeah, things are coming along on the OBS. Customer should be pleased. This is a big accomplishment. So this vehicle was sent to me by a shop I've made videos over there before, Wagner's Dyno Tune. And this, I just heard bits and pieces of the story. It was sent to a couple different body shops. A couple different owners have owned it. This thing showed up with a truckload of parts to be installed, like all the side moldings and trim and stainless, everything redone, all the chrome redone. However, the problem was when they went to put in the glass, nothing fit. So after just hours and hours of measuring and comparing and digging around, it appears that they've replaced the quarter panels used from another vehicle onto this car. At first I thought they put the roof on and just did it wrong, but this quarter panel's from one car, this quarter panel's from another car, as far as I can tell. I could be mistaken, but they've been off the car and put back on. They weren't put back on in the position they needed to be in. When the vehicle was brought to me, the rear glass was installed, and you could stick your finger into the inside of the car right here. There was just an enormous gap, meaning the quarter panel was too far forward. If you were to take the quarter panel and move it back, that would then allow the window to come back and fill up that gap. So I kind of had that. I wasn't going to pull the entire quarter panel off the car. So when I opened it up the rear hatch and took off the stainless, I saw that someone had already cut the pillars in the back. And so that's how I cheated it, was I cut those pillars, made things somewhat symmetrical, as close as I could get them, welded them back together. Did some modifying of the glass. I called Bernie's Auto Glass, and Bernie came out, and between me and him, over hours and hours of time, we were able to get these things to fit. And so we resolved all the glass problems. I literally have cut the retaining bracket out from under the roof on this side, underneath the gutter, and then fabbed up another one over there on the brake, and then tacked it in, moved it out a little bit because they weren't quite in the same place. So that was just that part. That was just to get that close. And then went to put in the windshield, and it ends up that they've replaced this front cowl, possibly part of the firewall also. So I see there's been some work done here. And then down inside there, you can kind of see they took a stock, laid it over down there in that little gutter, and then welded it back together. The problem is that this section is about 1/4 inch higher than it's supposed to be. So the windshield wouldn't go in, had to cut the windshield. So once again, hit up Bernie. Bernie rolled out and took a stock, brand new windshield, cut 1/4 inch off the bottom, put it all together. It fits, looks good. And yeah, it came right along. Pretty happy with it. There were some other things too with the window wings not actually fitting the car. There was some just sketchy stuff that had to just get moved around and adjusted. But now it looks like it's going to be a cruiser. It's coming together. So I'm going to start assembling the outside trim. I'll have my buddy come over, maybe put in the headliner. I'm going to dynamat the whole thing, put some carpet in it, and this thing's going to be a driver. I would not take it to any concourse shows, but you know what? It's going to look sweet at the beach. It's going to look sweet on cruise night, and it's going to do great like at parades and stuff. But yeah, I think that's where I would draw the line. So there's that. Now, something I've been walking past is this 69 Chevelle. It's a customer / friend of mine. He rode in this car with his, I don't recall if it was his dad or his grandfather, from the dealership in 1969. And yeah, he was the one in charge of keeping it waxed and cleaning it and washing it. This thing has 70,000 original miles in the same family since day one. Number matching 4-speed 396 car. This thing's kind of wicked. So it came in here for him and his son just had the motor freshened up. And well, they pulled the motor out, took it to Steve Brule and had him, well, he did the machine work and everything. Then he took it to Brule to dyno it and break it in on the dyno and make sure everything's good. And then they took it back and put it in. It's all installed, runs and dries, but there are some things that if you don't work on cars for a living, you don't want to waste your time with. I'm sure he's got better stuff to do. So he brought it over here. We're going to do some tasteful upgrades to it, make it drive a little bit better, handle a little bit better. Want the brakes to work a little bit better. Things a lot of people overlook is more horsepower, you need more brake, and more traction, you need more brake. So that's what we're going to try to do with this thing. It's so funny. I sit in this thing. It smells like the all original car. The key buzzer still goes off in the fender. Factory dash. The dash pad's original. I asked him, wow, where'd you get this dash pad? They never usually fit this well. He's all, that's never been out. That's original. Same with the seats and everything. The only tear in the seats is right there. And he told me his dad jumped in with a screwdriver in his pocket back in the day. Also pointed out to me that in the glove box or center console, there's the little notebook where his dad has kept track of every gallon of gas and every mile he's put on this car. It's crazy. But either way, we're gonna clean up a few things. Most likely fix a little bit of rust in the bottom of the fenders on both sides and then blend that paint area right there. I got a guy who can do that. And then, yeah, make this thing a cruiser. So when he stopped by today and dropped this thing off, he noticed the other day I did a video about pulling the motor out of my Chevelle and that I was, you know, using chains and stuff. And I guess his buddy Mark was watching it, so I would like to thank you very much, Mark. You are a good guy. He happened to have one of these laying around. So that is a Max pivot with an LS fixture. Now, the only thing I did, because I have a taller valve cover, is I whipped up some spacers and put them in here. So you take off the exhaust, you slide right in over the line up with the bolt holes in the exhaust, and then you pick it up with the hook, and then you ratchet this left and right, and that will make the motor tilt forwards and backwards. It just makes it very easy to install. The other cool part is I can take this off and just put it on the intake manifold and use it on other vehicles. So yeah, Mark, you hooked me up, buddy. Thank you very much. You know what? Tell David to get a hold of me. Let me know what shirt size you wear, and I will hook you up with that. Thanks, you guys. All right, so that is about it for today. Gonna wrap it up, some stuff to clean up, and then I'm gonna head home and yeah, call it a day. So thanks a lot for watching these videos. I appreciate it. Remember to subscribe, leave some comments, and share this video. Thanks a lot. Stay safe out there. See you soon.